What should have been here? Ancient trees, older than our grandparents. Trees that whispered our history. Trees that held rains and fed our rivers. Now, they're just corpses in a graveyard. This is the Tunnel River, which once gave life to the people of Summerboy and its environs. Children swam here. Women cooked with it. Farmers watered their crops with it and drank from it. The fufu and palm nut soup we so enjoy was birthed here.
It shall be the policy of this government to ban the issuance of leases for mining in all forest reserves. We shall also move promptly to revoke all leases issued for the same purpose under the previous government.
We are coming to you. We are coming after you.
Thank you very much. I'm sure that after watching this video, if you are not emotional, I don't know, it got me the first time I did this video. Excellency, our respected clergy, CSOs, distinguished invited guests, I'll give a presentation, and as has been already told, and I'll give an update on how deep we were sunk when we began. This is the geological map of Ghana. We've been so blessed that everywhere you pass in Ghana, there's gold and other mineral resources. As you can see, this is licenses, large-scale, small-scale, issued within these periods. Ladies and gentlemen, Ghana was named the Gold Coast by the colonial masters for very good reasons. Everywhere you pass, there's gold. And so mining dates back from the 1400s. And Ghana today, even after all these long years of mining, is the largest gold producer who surpassed South Africa in Africa. Sixth in the world. Almost 5 of the largest gold producers in the world are here in Ghana. But this is the story. It used to be that large-scale companies were the ones that were producing more gold. Today I can tell you, small-scale mining is the largest gold producers in Ghana. 52% of the gold in Ghana are produced by small-scale mining as opposed to 48% for large-scale companies. Large-scale mining is a preserve for all Ghanaians. And the latest data we have is that 3 million Ghanaians are engaged legally in this activity in almost 10 regions in the country today. Small-scale mining, as you know, started with rudimentary tools, chisels, hammers, but that's not the same today. It has really moved to this period where we are now evolving into a new, complicated, sophisticated use of excavators to strip the land. And the data is clear. In 2024, the importation of excavators was the largest item of value that was brought into Ghana, 6.5 billion Ghana cedi. This is the first report, and you can imagine when you walk into an office and the first briefing you are getting, this is what you are told. Minister, welcome. But we are very sad to tell you that 44 of the 288 forest reserves that have been kept for years have been completely destroyed, almost 16%. Minister, it doesn't stop there. 9 of those forest reserves we've lost it to armed thugs. And if you see the classification of the Forestry Commission, they've classified those 9 zones as red zones. That is, Forestry Commission guards cannot enter. The Ghana Army had not been able to enter. In fact, between 2023 and 2024, the Ghana Army was directed not to enter any forest reserve. And so it was free for all that period. What were the consequences? 5,500 hectares for our pristine forest reserve had been completely destroyed. You saw some of the pictures. If you want to imagine it, that's equivalent to 7,500 football fields. Think about the implication of restoring this and how much billions you need to restore it. And these are the impacted areas in Ashanti, Bekwai, Nkawie, Mankraso, Western Takwa, Dabuasi. So these 3 regions really are the main areas that has been impacted. I've already talked about the classification. If you had done it in color form, you have seen that the top one is no go. The second one, which is like gold, is an area that is close to the first one. 18 is medium, you can manage, so they go in, they clear them out, they come back. And then the 5th one is the green zone, where basically we can control. This is what we came to meet. This is the deepest we were sunk. And so I've talked about the red zone, and these were the 9 no-go areas. Jemra, Afao Hills, Tano Anua, Offense Shelter Belt, Anua East. Just 2 weeks ago, if you saw that the National Anti-Illegal Mining had gone back to the shelter belt, it meant that the same talks are trying to take it back from us. We were immediate, we were swift, we were brutal. This is the extent of focus. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Apamprama Forest Reserve in the Ashanti region. What you are looking at is not a city. It's the area view of our forest region, how damaged it is. Let's move from the forest to the water bodies. It even gets worse. We have 3 water systems in Ghana: the Volta, Southwestern, and the coastal basins. The Southwestern is the most impacted, especially rivers like Ankobra, Prata, and Onabia. And it gets worse. Constant importation of champagne machines, digging deep and polluting the water with dangerous chemicals has been the story. And the implications were serious. The turbidity levels that were supposed to be 0 to 500 had moved from 5,000 to 12,000. Impossible for water companies to treat water. And so if you hear the stories of Ghana Water Company shutting down, you know, it started in Takwa. And so when you are in Winneba, you think Takwa was too far. Well, you got into Takwa, he's got into the eastern region, and it's probably coming to you. The impact didn't stop there. The incidence of renal diseases, bird defects, impact on agriculture and food production and our cocoa production. It's all well known. And I think these are the impact, and it's very, very clear. And yet, ladies and gentlemen, law enforcement was weak. Slow investigation. This data should tell you that in 2024, 2023, total arrests, 35 prosecution. Should give you a picture, 4%. I think that we'll talk deeply about identifying the root causes. Why are we here? How did we get here? It was obvious that most of the people in all these areas did not understand the implications of this damage. The implications of the destruction of our water bodies and our forest reserve, our very lives, the foundation of how we survive. There was also clearly weak enforcement of mining regulation. The real problem was also with the regulators, the Minerals Commission and the EPA. I must be the first to say it. It was very clear how we issue licenses was even discouraging people in mining areas and poor people from going through this queue. It was pointless. Unemployment, poverty, and limited access to opportunity were clear factors as well. It got worse. Corruption among political officials and law enforcement agencies who were supposed to lead the effort were all complicit, clearly. And then it was not even helped by the price of gold that kept going up. So it became clear that if I'm a teacher and I can easily make some bucks illegally, enforcement is not there. All I have to do is do it and then just pay some bribe. So it was free for all. This is when we came in. January 2027. You even remember the short period of time, how many licenses were rushed and given out. It was not even enough. This is the directive of President Mahama. You are going to do everything possible to bring this problem under control. So we began the 5 pillars, 5-pronged approach to talk about where we are, the crisis we face. We began with stakeholder education and engagement, because ultimately this fight will not be won by guns. It will be won by the heart and soul of every Ghanaian. We began collaboration and education and engagement with the powerful, the connected, the most powerful people We started with Parliament. We went to Chiefs, House of Chiefs. We've been everywhere, educating them to use their voices and their positions to help in addressing the crisis we face. Key stakeholders engagement across the country. A long list of everybody that matters in Ghana has been engaged in this short period of time. The second is what I talked about. We must completely, overhaul our regulatory regime. And we began by revoking those licenses that were given within that transitional period. And then embark on an aggressive process to review the large scale, small scale. We just finished earlier the small scale mining review. You will be shocked. Processes that should be followed were not followed. It was obvious that you have to be politically connected to get a license. It was very, very clear that if you do not have a political godfather, it will take you years to get a license. It was clear that the MCAS system that should allow everybody in the comfort of his room to see what is going on in the Minerals Commission was not happening. We initially came out with 907 licenses that had problems. But we didn't want to simply revoke the licenses. We gave opportunity to the small-scale miners to come in and show what they have. We've done the complete due diligence, and let me thank the chairman of the review, my able deputy minister, for this effort. I can tell you that the review is almost closed. At least, I'm sure, by next week when we announce it, at least 250 licenses will be revoked. I'm very sure about that one. It is very clear that we need to also review and amend the main Mining Act, Act 703. A lot of provisions there must be tweaked and strengthened. And why is it that those in Accra can just decide, because you are my friend, just get a license? You don't even know Elembele. You can just walk in there, wave your licenses at the chiefs and the local people and tell them that I am coming to take the gold underground, your cocoa, and you have no power.